a lot of the guys that we normally talk about for agenda check didn't really do much in this game.
Yeah.
So I think it's really only worth talking about if the player in question does something to strengthen or diminish their agenda. And most of them didn't really do that this week. The first one I have written down, Noah, the Frei is washed. Andy T should start agenda. I mean, drastically strengthened.
Correct.
I don't really even think we need to get much into that. Andy T, the thing is, has been playing like an MLS number one this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on that sequence on the game winner, I think he probably saves that.
I think he saves both of those shots.
I think he probably saves both of those shots.
I think if you put Andy T in that goal for this game, the Sounders come home with 3 points.
And listen, it's not about having any less love at all for Stefan Frei. I mean, out of anyone on the team that you could name, he has laid it all on the line for the badge and done as much, if not more, winning than arguably any goalkeeper in MLS history. No goalkeeper in MLS history has 2 MLS Cups and a Champions League title, okay?
And never a goalkeeper of the year.
And never won a goalkeeper of the year, snubbed every time. So it's not about that. It's just about like where things stand right now. And what you have is a veteran goalkeeper who's almost 40, who had one of the worst howlers, probably the worst howler of his career, in a game where he also allowed a savable goal and has, let's be honest, he's allowed a few savable goals this season. I think he's still shown his previous level at times, but when you have Andy T outperforming him, you're going to get the debate over whether Andy T should be starting. And I mean, if it was me, I would start Andy T.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, like, to add a little bit to that, what do you do next season? Frei's gone. Okay, cool, awesome. That's like, I think that's just a reality. Unless he's going to stay on as a backup or something, which I don't really think he would want to do, because I'm sure that somewhere would sign him, whether it's overseas, USL, whatever it is. But you give Andy T half a season to prepare to be a full starter, I don't know. It's like,
they extended Andy T, I think, with the likely with the thought that he was going to take over the
yeah,
number
exactly.
one role. Yeah.
So I think it's time to start that transition. I don't think that there's anything. I think you should, like, I saw some people saying you should blow it all up, blow the entire roster all up, because there's too many old guys. I'll take from that what you will, but I think that Stefan Frei is the perfect example of being really nostalgic and loving for our heroes, but not necessarily realizing that it's time to move on and that it is not a slight against them that you sign
that's the
new
cycle
players.
of professional sports. Like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
really all it is. The other one I had written down for agenda check was RBW, which I think is going to be a good discussion because, before the red card, I was thinking about the RBW agenda check, and I was going to talk about how it had kind of skyrocketed. It was cooking. He is a very talented attacking wide player, in a way that we've talked about this, but he's got a skill set in that regard that I don't think Cody Bakes really has, and definitely doesn't have the same upside with. And RBW is also, he's a dog on defense when he's got his full fitness and energy. So I think he just has this potential to be a very effective and potentially dynamic two-way player. And you saw that in this game. I mean, I love, having watched Leo Chu try and attack from out wide a lot over the last couple of years, seeing RBW take on a guy one-on-one and just moss him is very satisfying to watch. He puts in some good service. I could see him as a guy who has like a Jovan Jones type, like gaudy assist type season with that skill set. And I thought he was flexing all of that in this game. Like, I really did. And it's just so unfortunate to have it chalked by a red card when, like you said, he really should not have been on the field. He should have been subbed out before that. But I mean, I really did like what I saw from him in the game, other than the red card, which was just an insanely bad play. But I don't blame him for the red card all that much. Like, he shouldn't have been in that situation, and young players are going to make mistakes. But I still am going to call the agenda strengthened, because I just really like what I'm seeing from him, particularly in the attacking end. I think this team needs that, and I think he has been showing like why he's such a highly rated prospect. I still think that, even in spite of the unfortunate way that his shift ended.
Yeah, listen, I was actually texting with Mark Kastner, one of our Standard Heart friends and friend of the pod. We loved RBW. Listen, are we the two resident Nuhu dislikers? Potentially, but you know what? Here's the thing about RBW. He gives you such dynamic attack and such dynamic transition that I haven't seen in a player since Jovan Jones.
Or Brad Smith had a little bit. Or
Brad Smith too. Yeah, Brad Smith. Sorry, Brad. We love you. But the thing is, he's still young, and he's coming back from an injury, and working back from that, you have to like, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Sorry to horses, but it's like the coaching of a young player is just as important as the young player performing. That aside, if you go back to the 58th minute, the 57th, 58th minute, he makes this run from basically like he goes line to line from the top of the box after he sends a cross in. Sporting Kansas City comes back to transition, and he makes his way all the way back to defend and cut out what would have been an attack. Who does that?
He was playing well on defense.
Yeah.
Like, he made a couple of really big clearances. His 1v1 defending, I thought, was pretty damn good for the most part. I don't know. I just think he's a fun, good, potentially really dynamic player. And the red card really did not dissuade me of how I feel about that. If anything, I was going to push this agenda pretty hard until he got thrown out of the game. So.
Yeah, even though he got thrown out of the game, I think that like people will take it on face value of like, damn, like he's so bad. Like, clearly, Nuhu wouldn't get this red card. You know what? Fair. Like, I don't think that Nuhu would have done that, but he also might have.
I mean, Nuhu got a red card like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Like I get it. But I'm happy to concede that. That said, like, there were 3 or 4 attacking chances that would not have come about if RBW wasn't on the field. Now, if we had someone to finish those chances, maybe we could have won.
He might have a couple of assists.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So,
all right.
Agenda strengthened.
Agenda strengthened. We're calling it, even though he got the red card.